Okay, so let's start with Equip 8 in this chapter. Uh, so, what did Arno Penzias and Ed Harrison both have to say about the anthropic principle? Yes.
They both give me the anthropic principle.
Right, yeah. So they called it prima facie evidence for God. Now, a couple of things about that. Prima facie is like it is unassailable, that nothing stands behind it because it's so obviously true. And it's a Latin term. But basically, they said it's proof for a God. Here's the bad part of that. They probably weren't thinking about the God of the Bible when they say that. When we talk about God, that's what we think. That's probably not the kind of God they were talking about. But at very least, they were admitting that there was something outside of space and time that created space and time. And that in itself is, you know, I can't even think of it. So that in itself is amazing that they would even say that much, right? They're atheists. Um, so, how do atheists respond to the anthropic principle as proof for God? Yes.
Some admit to it, some admit to a design, not a designer, and some resort to
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of the major ones. Like, yeah, so if we have many universes, then one of them must be eternal, right? The problem with that is that there is no actual evidence of any any universes. Maybe someday someone will find one, but no one has now. And you can't go off of, well, someday we'll find one. You can't posit something that hasn't been discovered. So it's basically wild speculation um, uh, when they come up with this idea of multiple universes. Okay, and then how do the heavens speak to us of a creator? Yes, so that's good. Yeah, can you say that a little bit louder so they can hear it all?
um, because just as the heavens have no limit, neither does God. He's the only creator of all things.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, so this is what I wrote down. That's excellent. In its awesomeness and unimaginable greatness, the universe points to an unimaginably and powerful but yet personal God. And we'll talk more about that. How do we know God is personal as we walk through this? But He created personal beings, and so uh, He He needs to be personal. And then 11. Um, what do what do atheists accuse religious people of doing that they do themselves? Right. They say we accept that there's a God without any evidence of a God, but they um, accept their theories of belief that there is no God. based on blind faith rather than scientific evidence. Something or someone created the universe because before the universe was here, there was nothing. So there is more evidence for a personal God than there is for any other of those theories that they believe. So now let's turn to the engage. I don't think I told you to do this, so you can write in your answers as you go. First, the first one is review the 5 anthropic constants and recite them from memory. Don't worry about that one right now. It might be good for you to write some of those down, but for this particular chapter, you're going to be writing a letter instead of having a test. So you'll have that at your disposal as you're writing that letter. So what were some of the main points that you got out of the story of Apollo 13? Yes.
Like conditions for life don't happen. Like if they were any differently.
Right. It can't be an accident, right? What happened on the Apollo 13 was an accident, and everything went bad from there. Not it didn't order from there, disordered from there. So yeah, and so they finely tuned that. Not only did they finely tune Apollo 13 to support those 3 men, when it went wrong, it took a whole lot of intelligence to bring those men back. It's amazing to me. I don't even know. I've probably watched Apollo 13. I don't know, 10 times at least. And it always amazes me just how hard it was and the immense amount of knowledge and people it took to bring them home. And yet something far more advanced, something far more intricate, the universe is an and I think there's even a line in the movie that this wasn't an accident, and that was about getting people to the moon. Jim Lovell says something like, "It wasn't an accident. We just decided to go," or something like that in the movie. We'll be watching that movie soon. Uh, take each argument posed by atheists against divine design of the universe and refute the position based on information thus far. Okay, so tell me one of the things that atheists say how we got here, and then tell me why that isn't accurate. We talked about multiple universe. What's another? Yeah, they're imaginary time. I'm not even sure how to wrap my mind around it. I mean, it might be nice to have imaginary time because we can leave class whenever we want it. It's imaginary time, but there's actual real time, and that's what we do. But it does show the lengths to which people will go to deny something. Anything else? Okay, so here's where we're headed.